Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Michael becomes one of the PCPD's top suspects in shooting Drew, and Jack offers Nina an interesting deal. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. It's night, and Chase arrives at the hospital. He's heard Drew is awake, but Willow relays that she hasn't seen him and admits she's avoiding it. She confesses she's confused and doesn't know what to do, but still believes Drew is her best chance to get her kids back. Chase thinks she doesn't need Drew. Lucas and Liz speak about Drew being awake and the cops' presence at the hospital. Liz confides that she's avoiding the police as she heard Carly threaten to kill Drew the night he was shot. Lucas laughs that Carly threatens to kill a lot of people when she's mad. Liz won't run to the cops to say what she knows, but she will tell the truth if questioned. Isaiah steps into Portia's office to speak about Drew being awake. She admits she wishes she had stayed in bed with him the other night, as she feels bad about saving Drew's life, given what he's done to her family members. Isaiah says that makes her a great surgeon. She gives everyone her best, regardless of who they are. She admits the other reason is that, as much as she enjoyed being with him in his bed, it can't happen again. Isaiah understands, as it's a tricky situation with her being his boss. Isaiah will honor her decision but would be interested in seeing where things could go should she change her mind. Who shot Drew? Curtis, in Drew's room, isn't surprised he's pointing the finger at Michael. Drew admits he doesn't know who shot him, and for all he knows, it could have been Curtis. He warns Drew he's in a vulnerable position. Someone tried to kill him once, and could come back to finish the job. Is Drew paralyzed? Lucas interrupts and has come to answer any questions Drew might have. Curtis leaves them. Lucas briefs Drew on the surgery, and there could be long-term effects from the second bullet, which was lodged against his spine. Drew asks if he could be paralyzed. Lucas does some needle tests on Drew's feet, and there are no signs of paralysis. Drew thanks God, and Lucas suggests he thank Dr. Robinson. Drew grumbles that it's a miracle she didn't let him die. Lucas lashes out at him, and Drew gets the sense that Lucas isn't his biggest fan either. Lucas says Carly and Michael are his family, and he's only obligated to provide him with medical care, not stand around and chat. Lucas walks out. In the halls, Liz grabs Willow to give her some bad news. It appears Rick's left town, and they don't know when he'll be back. Willow freaks out, as she now has no lawyer. Elsewhere, Chase stops Curtis and asks about his whereabouts around the time Drew was shot. Will Lulu take Carly's advice? Carly stops by Lulu's place. The kids are taking Outback on a walk, and Lulu informs Carly that her super spy boyfriend wants her to let Charlotte see Valentine, as he needs something from the Cassadine. Carly asks what Charlotte wants. Lulu says Charlotte doesn't know. Carly suggests it could bring Charlotte peace of mind to see he's okay, and it's worth considering. Carly reminds Lulu that Valentine will be in prison for life, and she can't cut Valentine out of Charlotte's heart. She needs to let Charlotte make this choice, as if she finds out she kept her from seeing her dad, her daughter will resent her. What does Jack offer Nina? Jack meets Nina at the Portia's Grill to speak about the situation with Valentine, Lulu, and Charlotte. Jack knows she is close with Charlotte. Nina stops him and states she is not going to lure a child onto a plane to Switzerland against her mother's wishes. Jack isn't going to kidnap a child and simply wants her to help get Lulu on board with this. Nina suggests Carly would be in a better position to convince Lulu, and frankly, she doesn't know if having Charlotte visit her father is in her best interest. She is protective of the girl, and she doesn't want to see her hurt. Anna and Dante question Michael. Michael arrives at the PCPD to speak with Anna and Dante. Diane sent Marco in her place to help, which is a surprise to Michael. Marco and Michael speak alone briefly. The lawyer explains that Diane is representing Alexis, so she can't represent him. Michael trusts Diane's judgment, and the questioning begins. Michael accounts for his whereabouts that night. He was with Christina when his father called with the news about the judge's death. He then spoke to his mother and finally went to the Port Charles Grill to decompress. While there, he struck up a conversation with Jacinda Bracken. Anna asks if he's aware she's the escort who was photographed with Drew. He didn't at the time, but does now. Michael continues, providing the times he arrived and left the grill, which is when he realized he had left his phone in his car the entire time. That's when he had missed calls from Wiley and Brooklyn, and he went home as his son had a nightmare. Anna asks if he stopped anywhere else on his way home, and Michael recalls that he did. We see a memory of him getting into his car, soaking wet, during the storm. He says he stopped nowhere, and Jacinda can account for their time at the grill. Dante notes Drew only named Michael as someone who may have shot him, and no one else. Michael isn't surprised. Anna allows Michael to go, for now. At the internet cafe, Kai lets Trina know that Drew is awake. Trina worries Drew might know they were there when he was shot. Kai says he can find out by visiting Drew, who has no idea he knows who he really is. As long as Drew thinks he's still on his side, he can protect them. Kai takes off, and Emma finds Trina completely dazed. She says hello to her and goes to place an order. She returns with some tea for Trina, as she notes she looks like she can use some and a friend. She sits down and is willing to listen to her. Trina lets everything out, her mother switching Heather's lab results, being blackmailed by Drew, and lying to her father. She feels it all started because of her. Emma insists none of this is her fault, and it's not her job to fix her parents' problems and make them happy. She tells her friend to focus on making herself happy. Trina thanks her for the advice. What does Drew want Kai to do? Kai goes to the hospital to see Drew and plays as if nothing has changed between them. Drew is glad to see him as he needs a big favor. He wants Kai to open his safe and bring him some of the items inside. Kai says he can't, as his house is a crime scene. Drew suggests he can use his key and sneak in, and nobody will know, but Kai doesn't feel comfortable. Drew understands and has something else he can do for him. In the halls, Curtis tells Chase he can't help him. He will come to the station if summoned to answer questions, accompanied by his lawyer. Elsewhere, Willow realizes she needs to find a new lawyer. Liz suggests that she try Martin, but in the meantime, she needs to focus on proving that she is a good and stable mom. Willow fears it's not enough, and she's going to need Drew, no matter how much she hates him. Suddenly, Kai interrupts them and says Drew is asking to see Willow. Short on drama, but this week, the storm brewing around Drew Kane's shooting finally reaches a fever pitch. New evidence surfaces that sends shockwaves through the PCPD, and Michael Corinthos suddenly finds himself in the center of the investigation. Meanwhile, Nina Reeves receives an unexpected visitor who proposes a deal that could change everything she's been fighting for. The investigation turns personal. Detective Dante Falconeri's frustration grows by the hour. Despite endless interviews and combing through security footage, the person responsible for putting Drew in that hospital bed remains unknown. But that changes when a new piece of forensic evidence lands on his desk, a partial fingerprint from a discarded coffee cup found near the docks on the night of the shooting. "Tell me this isn't who I think it is," Dante mutters as Officer Bennett hands him the report. The results confirm it. Michael Corinthos. It doesn't make sense. Michael had no known motive, or at least, not one the police could easily prove. But with Drew's recent conflicts involving ELQ shares, and Michael's uneasy alliance with his mother Carly, suspicions begin to swirl. When Dante goes to question Michael, the tension between them is palpable. "Are you accusing me of trying to kill my own uncle?" Michael fires back, pacing the Corinthos' living room. "I'm not accusing," Dante says carefully. "But I can't ignore evidence. You were at the docks that night, weren't you?" Michael's silence speaks volumes. He admits to being there, but only to meet a supplier connected to ELQ's new shipping contracts. "If I wanted Drew dead," he snaps, "I'd have to be out of my mind. He's the reason ELQ's even profitable again." Dante wants to believe him. But the mounting evidence, the fingerprint, the mysterious burner phone ping near the crime scene, and a witness claiming to have seen a man with Michael's build arguing with Drew, makes the case impossible to ignore. Carly spirals as secrets mount. When Carly learns her son is now a top suspect, her reaction is pure fury mixed with fear. She storms into the PCPD, demanding to see the commissioner. "Anna, you know Michael," Carly insists, her voice trembling with barely contained emotion. "He wouldn't do something like this." Anna Devane is sympathetic but firm. "Carly, I know you want to protect your son, but until we have proof he didn't pull that trigger, I have to follow the evidence." Later, alone at Kelly's, Carly sits at a corner table, clutching her phone. Her mind races through every possible scenario. Who could be framing Michael? Could this be the work of Valentine Cassadine, Still angry about ELQ? Or maybe someone closer, someone with a grudge against both Drew and Michael? Just as she's about to call Sunny for advice, she stops herself. Things between them have been fragile ever since Nina's deception was exposed. Still, part of her wonders, would Sunny step in to help, or would his loyalty to justice and his new family stop him? Jack's return and Nina's temptation. Meanwhile, at the Metro Court, Nina Reeves is trying to distract herself with work. The fallout from her SEC confession still lingers. She's lost Sunny, her magazine, and most of her allies. But just as she's preparing to leave for the day, a familiar voice interrupts her. "Well, if it isn't the woman of the hour," Jack Brennan says smoothly, sliding into the chair across from her. Nina freezes. "Jack, you're supposed to be in federal custody." He smiles faintly. "Let's just say I have friends in low places. I'm not here to cause trouble. Quite the opposite." Jack leans forward, lowering his voice. "I know who really shot Drew Kane." Nina's breath catches. "You what?" "I've got proof," Jack continues. "And it's not Michael Corinthos. But the information comes at a price." Nina hesitates, torn between disbelief and curiosity. Jack offers her a deal. If she helps him regain access to certain Metro Court financial records, ones Carly sealed after his arrest, he'll hand over evidence that clears Michael and points the PCPD toward the real shooter. "Why me?" she asks. "Because you've lost everything thanks to Carly. And I'm offering you a way to get some power back, and maybe, just maybe, her gratitude." Nina knows it's dangerous. Jack Brennan has a history of manipulation, and trusting him could destroy whatever's left of her reputation. But the thought of proving to Sunny, and to herself, that she can still make things right tempts her deeply. Sunny caught in the middle. Sunny Corinthos finds himself once again torn between the two people who've dominated his emotional life. When he hears that Michael is being treated as a suspect, he immediately goes to the PCPD. "Dante, you're my son, and I respect the badge," Sunny says quietly. "But don't forget, Michael's your brother. If someone's framing him, we need to find out who." Dante nods but warns his father not to interfere. "If you start pulling strings, it's only going to make Michael look more guilty." Still, Sunny can't sit still. He sends Dex out to investigate, determined to uncover who really wanted Drew out of the picture. Dex's digging leads to a surprising discovery. A shell company recently purchased by someone using Jack Brennan's old alias. The same company had been bidding against ELQ for a government shipping contract Drew was negotiating. Could Jack have ordered the hit to stop Drew from exposing his ties? Sunny realizes Jack may be manipulating Nina again, and that puts her in danger. Nina's dangerous choice. That night, Nina meets Jack in a dimly lit corner of the Metro Court restaurant. He slides a small USB drive across the table. "This is what you asked for. It'll prove Michael didn't do it," he says smoothly. "Once I have those records, I'll send the rest." Before Nina can respond, Sunny appears, his eyes dark with fury. "You just can't help yourself, can you, Nina?" Jack smirks as Sunny approaches. "Well, this is awkward." Sunny demands to know what's going on, and Nina, her voice trembling, admits that Jack offered her a deal. She insists she only wanted to help clear Michael's name. By cutting deals with a criminal? Sunny growls. "You're playing with fire."